What kind of neighbor tries to yank a man out of his wheelchair on his own porch? That's the question I kept asking myself after everything went down with James Harper and his nightmare of a neighbor, Linda Voss. James wasn't the type to broadcast his struggles. He didn't post inspirational quotes, or lean into his disability for sympathy. He just lived, day by day, in a body that demanded constant adaptation. His sleek black wheelchair wasn't a symbol, it was just how he got around. His legs after a construction accident left his spine shattered. The settlement from that corporate screw-up bought him a modest one-story house on the edge of town, a place where he could carve out some control. Not freedom, mind you, control. But Linda? She had other plans. James's house was nothing fancy: brick walls, flat roof, storm blinds, and a custom ramp he'd designed himself for smoother access. His yard was plain but tidy, mailbox straight, walkway swept clean every Friday. He paid taxes early, ran appliances on timers to ease the grid, recycled like it was his religion. But socializing? That wasn't his thing. He didn't wave during Linda's daily cul-de-sac patrols, didn't grin when she dropped off her self-printed newsletters, didn't show up to her mandatory potlucks that were anything but. He wasn't ready to nod, say, "I'm good, thanks." But to Linda, that was a slap in the face. Linda lived 2 houses down, a woman with a loud voice and an even louder sense of authority she'd never earned. Her lawn was unnaturally green, her wind chimes annoyingly in tune, her plaster gnomes rearranged daily like they were passing judgment. Nobody knew where her husband was. Some said he'd left, others figured he was hiding in the basement. Either way, Linda filled her days playing neighborhood cop, snooping in trash bins, measuring parked cars, noting non-standard porch decor. James's quiet, compliant home drove her nuts. It didn't scream community spirit, as she'd put it. It started small. A cursive note tucked under James's potted basil saw unsightly bins create negative impressions. Kindly store them out of VYEW. Saw his bins were exactly where city rules allowed, behind a utility screen. James shrugged, filed the note away. It wasn't about bins, it was about her need to control. When he didn't bite, Linda upped the game. Strangers knocked, asking for a Michael, with delivery slips listing James's address. He turned them away. Then an envelope arrived, stuffed with fake citations, overgrown shrubs, mosquito hazards, all lies. James didn't react. He photographed, logged, stayed calm. Linda's tone shifted. She showed up one afternoon, all fake concern. "Haven't seen you around," she said, peering into his Levi-wying room. "Some of us wondered if you're even still here." Her voice was syrupy but sharp. "It'd be healthier if you were more VY-sible, you know." James kept it polite. "I'm fine, thanks." Her smile tightened, eyes cold. "Isolation breeds strange habits," she said louder for the neighbor's benefit. He shut the door, locked it softly. The ramp obsessed her. It wasn't some cookie-cutter model, it was James's design, charcoal rubber-coated, built for ice and maneuverability. It didn't match the beige sameness of the block, and that was a crime in Linda's world. One morning, paint samples appeared on his steps with a note. Saw neutral colors cue positive mood. Saw he tossed them, logged it. He didn't report her, not yet. One stone thrown was nothing, 10 told a story. He started a folder, saw Voss active EY ties, saw screenshots of her lingering near his property, audio of her loud phone rants about certain people, dragging down the block, security footage catching her just out of frame, watching. Then his mail stopped. A week, no letters, no bills. USPS said a hold was placed for extended travel. James hadn't requested it. The hold was lifted, but he checked his camera, a blurry figure by the mailbox at dawn, unmistakably Linda's posture. He didn't call the cops. She'd cry, claim confusion, play VY Tim. Instead, he documented authentical, unemotional, admissible. The mistake most people make is reacting hot. They yell, make noise. James made EVY Denke. But Linda wasn't just petty, she was testing limits, daring him to crack. When his grocery delivery vanished, security footage showed the driver hesitating, reading a fake, restricted access sign with a counterfeit city seal. The sign disappeared, but James found it under a hedge, folded, deliberate. He added a trail camera. Days later, it caught Linda planting something in the soil, her floral blouse clear in the frame. Then came anonymous complaints: sanitation violations, pest acti vitae. Behind his bins, a torn sack spilled rotting food brands he didn't buy, placed to frame him. He cleaned it, logged it. Under a bush, cardboard scrawled with "saw clean it up" or "get out saw." He bagged it like EVY denke. Official logs listed 5 vague violations against him: noise, neglect, even his ADA-certified ramp called a trip hazard. Fiction, all of it. James sent a rebuttal to the city, timestamps, images, no accusations, just facts. Code enforcement came, found nothing, left embarrassed. But Linda kept pushing. A note wedged under his window read, "Saw you don't belong here. You sit like you own silence. We see you." Saw he sealed it in plastic, felt the shift. She didn't want him gone, she wanted him exposed, shouting, so she could flip the script. Then came the theater. A van parked to block his VYEW, fake fumigation signs across the street, a Bluetooth speaker hidden in a birdhouse playing faint music to unsettle him. A sign in his yard read "Saw Welcome Veteran Support Center Saw," with flyers listing his address for a non-existent program. Strangers showed up, confused. Neighbors stared, whispered. James countered, "AFIDA VYTS, database removals, no emotion." But the air grew heavy. Fewer nods, more side eyes, cars slowing as they passed. One afternoon, Linda stormed his ramp, no warning, feet pounding the metal. "James!" she shrieked, mocking. "You think you're so smart, hiding behind cameras and silence?" She stepped closer, red-faced, fists tight. "You're a tumor, draining this street." She grabbed his wheelchair's armrest. That was her mistake. James didn't rage, he swung his crutch in a precise arc, cracking her nose. Blood sprayed, she screamed, stumbled down the steps, purse spilling. He locked his wheels, called 911, voice steady. "A person entered my property, initiated contact. I defended myself with a mobility device." Police arrived. Linda wailed, accused him of fraud, harassment. The footage, high def, impartial, shut her down. She was stretchered away, cursing. James handed over a flash drive, said nothing more. A restraining order followed, barring her from his property. But the harassment didn't stop. Trash bins misaligned, cigarette butts on his ramp, a letter, "Saw the chair doesn't protect you from fire." Saw at 2:41 a.m., a man stared from his gate, unmovying. A neighbor left a photo, Linda with the man, caption "Saw not done saw." James sensed the shift. Linda was gone, but her social web lingered, neighbors who felt he cheated by winning too cleanly. He sent the photo to his restraining order file, requested a city threat log waiver for faster response times. He reinforced windows, added cameras, lived in shifts, always listening. A zoning letter arrived, citing anonymous tips about his ramp. He countered with permits, photos, signatures. Utility tags appeared, untraceable. His internet died, someone had cancelled his SerVYC using his name. Scratches on his window, mailbox flags raised, new cigarette butts. 2 men came, claiming to be from a survey firm. James called their bluff, cited trespassing, recorded them. Their firm was fake, their website new. That night, a chemical smell seeped through his vent, residue found, no source. Then a box arrived, blank paper, red-edged, silent but loud. They were saying, "Saw we can reach you." Saw James stored it by his old pistol, unopened but not forgotten. A knock broke the pattern. A nervous kid, early 20s, stood on the porch. "You're being watched," he said. "I installed something near your generator, wireless, high frequency. They want you to snap, film it, edit it." He'd disabled it, but warned. "You've got a week before they try something bigger." James found the snip conduit, checked his system stable, but irrelevant. They were crafting a narrative, James as a threat, not a person. At 3:19 a.m., a figure worked his vent, slow, practiced. Police brushed it off as animal movement. A symbol of broken eye appeared on his garage, unerasable. James didn't lash out. He sent a dossier to a Denver investigative firm, every note, photo, clip, annotated. They traced it to a land development group using harassment to displace residents. Linda was their pawn, her outburst too early. James mailed the findings to every agency, signed his name, waited. The pressure lifted. No more symbols, tags, packages. 2 men retrieved something from his vent, left without a word. The air settled. Neighbors nodded again, not warmly, but without weight. Linda's house got new owners, a couple, 2 kids, no gnomes. James wrote one note, saw they wanted me to bend to their story, disruptive, unstable. I gave them facts too heavy for fiction. Saw he taped it inside a cabinet, let it curl. Evenings now, he sits on his porch, coffee in hand, sky dimming. The ramp stands unapologetic. No one tests the lock. The wind moves freely. James doesn't have peace, has possession. His space, his silence, himself. And that's enough.